So here we are, another edition of 10 a.m. on the Instagram Live. If you haven't caught the memo yet, we are, just for the rest of this week, doing the 10 a.m. class live. It posts right after into our IGTV or just into our feed on Instagram, and then it also goes up on YouTube. So if you miss morning class, well, tomorrow, and maybe a little bit of next week, just trying to figure out how we're going to start slowly working our way back toward some normalcy, but I'll keep you guys posted every step of the way. Most of you probably figured out Instagram is the best way. I always put things up in the Instagram story as probably the first place to look, and then go from there. I've kind of gotten away from the Facebook altogether. It's just not my vibe. It never has been. And yeah, Instagram seems to be a little bit easier way for everybody to keep in touch. So just keep checking in every day, but we're here now, we're live. We're gonna do a nice little morning flow and get everybody feeling good to get out and take advantage of this beautiful morning. So, on that note, I did have two actually specific requests for some upper body stuff. Not so much on the strengthening side, but on the opening, stretching, lengthening out, neck, shoulders, chest expansion, all of that. So we are gonna put the majority of the focus on just opening up the upper body, and we'll see what else we get time for after that. As always, remember that this practice is designed for there to be a little bit of something for everyone. So if we're moving at a pace that doesn't work for you, slow down. I try to give as many modifications as I can as we're taking the postures. But if you know that your body needs a little something different, or you just feel like changing it up, please, by all means, remember that you really are your own best teacher. I'm here to give you some guidance, but I don't know how it feels to be in your body, so you have to be the judge of that. I think that's all I have to blab on about this morning, so let's get practicing. We're going to start on our belly. So if you are comfortable there, come on down. If you need a little blanket underneath your hips, or your tummy, go right ahead. If you're not comfortable on your belly at all, then you can start on your back or maybe in child's pose. But if this is an okay position for you, come on down. Find this sort of prone shape. And you can keep both legs out long behind you, stack up the forearms and make crocodile pose. Or if you'd like, you can drag one knee softly out and open to the side, just kind of like tree pose, belly down on your mat. Hello, welcome everybody. Looks like we still got a few people jumping on, so here we are. Come on and join us. Taking things one breath at a time this morning, that's where we'll start. So let's begin our practice by just simply closing your eyes. Feeling your body soften and release a little bit here as you surrender. Relax your hip bones. Let your chest and your belly feel heavy. If your forehead is resting down on the back side of your hands, it might feel nice to just rock gently right across the space above your eyebrows, the center of your forehead. Begin to gently coax a little bit of surrender into your neck and your shoulders. Remember to relax your jaw, soften up your cheekbones. Try to release any tension tension from the corners of your eyes, the corners of your mouth. And then find a few moments of stillness and just listen for the sound and feel for the breath moving through the backside of your body. Excuse me. A little rise and fall there in the space between your shoulder blades. The backside of your heart center. Keeping in mind that your breath is always the foundation of the practice, it is important to really lay the groundwork here to get a good, firm foundation so that as you start to make the shape of the poses, they can really just be an expression of your breath. If your breath is smooth, effortless, and steady, so are your postures. Or at least that's the idea. Sometimes it's easier said than done, and that's okay. It's yoga after all. It's supposed to make you feel good, so don't be so hard on yourself. Take one more deep breath here, and then if your legs are both long behind you, I'm going to ask you now to join me and just drag your right knee open to the side a little bit, like a frog leg, or again, kind of like tree pose, and slowly lift your head. Start to just gently walk your hands in and prop yourself up on your elbows for a moment. Stay right there, let your belly relax. Take your chin all the way down to your chest and let your head just drop and hang heavy right there. You don't have to do anything else, just breathe, pulling the chin slightly in so that you really get a nice stretch on the back of your neck. You guys stay put. I'm just going to make a quick adjustment here. There we go. Some crazy shadows going there. All right, so we're right here, just letting the head drop down. And then start to roll your right ear towards your right shoulder, your left ear towards your left shoulder. Just little half circles back and forth a few times. And keep going. 3, 2, and 1. Slow it down through center. Let your head drop one more time. Really pull your chin in now. Actively try to touch your chin to your chest. Keep your shoulders relaxed down. And lift your gaze back up, and then lift your elbows up off your mat. Just a little bit will do. You're gonna feel some intensity come into your low back here. Stay with that stretch for a moment. Should feel a little bit like Cobra, but perhaps just a little deeper, especially on the left. And then speaking of the left, pick up your left hand. Yeah, opposite of your right knee, right? So opposite of the leg that's open, you're gonna scoop it right through here. Let's just start with a gentle twist. We're gonna do a few different postures that begin from the belly before we start moving up toward our feet. Roll back and let your right arm just hang open behind you so that gravity can help you stretch open your right shoulder. Pull that stretch right across your heart center. Broad from collarbone to collarbone. And then you've got a nice gentle twist in your low back here as well. If you want to reach down with your left hand, sort of pin your right knee or your thigh down just to create some better leverage, go right ahead. Keep breathing. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly, as you start to unwind, and stretch both legs out long first, then gently roll all the way back to your belly. Bring yourself up. Pause there for a moment. Get yourself all untangled. Shake out the back side of your body. Wiggle your hips, wiggle your shoulders, all the way from the top of your head down to your toes. So this class is particularly for my friend Jess. I hope she's watching, or maybe she'll get it later, but she's been sewing donation masks like a mad woman, and she needs a little relief for her neck and shoulders. So this part's especially for you, Jess. Thank you for all you do. Go ahead, pull your left knee out and open to the side. Go ahead, get yourself adjusted and then just soften back down to your elbows for a moment. Again, you're gonna pull your chin down to the chest. Stretch the back side of the neck. Roll your head halfway around the circle and back. Left ear to the left shoulder. Right ear to the right. Slow your breathing here. Reconnect. Smooth and steady inhales and exhales. 3, 2, good. One more time. Roll across. And 1. Pause in the middle. Lift your head, lift your elbows, stretch the low back here. Stay with that a moment. If you feel like you need to step your hands in a little bit to find more, you can. And then we'll take the right hand this time. It's gonna scoop right underneath. Once you're on your right shoulder, roll back and let your left arm, again, just hang open behind you. Hike your left knee up as close to your body as you want and pin it down with your right hand if you'd like a deeper twist. It's not necessary. All of these things are just options. Oftentimes we see these big spinal twists at the end of practice, but it's really nice to start with them sometimes as well. It's a good detoxification for the body right off the bat. Three, 2, and 1. Let's unwind. Stretch everything out, all the way back. Put your right arm untucked from underneath. Shake out the spine, the hips, the legs, shoulders. Give it all a little bit of a wiggle. And then inhale, lift up one more time. Just enough now. Both legs are long behind you to stretch comfortably. The front side of the body, the back side of the body. Find that balance between the two. Breathe. Look as far to your right as you can and try to touch your chin towards your right shoulder. Look as far to your left as you can. Try to touch the chin or get it close. And then back to the middle, gaze goes up. And slowly release back down. All right, let's take it up and back to child's pose. It's a nice slow start to things there. We'll get moving around a little bit, keep working that upper body into our flow today. Few breaths in child. Reset your spine, check in with your hips. Notice how things are feeling in the knees, the ankles, the shoulders here. And then when you're ready, slowly, just bring yourself up. If you've got anything underneath of you, if you did have a blanket underneath of you, slide it out of the way now and work your way up to tabletop pose. Starting with both hands flat on the mat, all 10 fingers spread out nice and wide. Inhale, we'll take a nice sequence here to keep warming up the spine a little bit. Before we go into a full sun salutation, drop your belly, lift your chin, tilt your tail. There's that cow stretch. Good old familiar cow pose. Exhale, round all the way through cat. Listen close. From cat, start to walk your hands in towards your body and walk your hands all the way up your thighs until you're standing up. Bring the hands around behind. Lock the fingers together. Inhale, just lift your chest a little bit here. So it doesn't have to be a massive camel pose back bend. Just more of a heart stretch. Up and open. Let your head fall back if it's comfortable. And then exhale, keep the hands bound. Sit yourself down on your heels. Again, inhale, pop the heart open. Lift up a little bit. This time, exhale, put your belly on your thighs, tuck your chin in, and roll toward the crown of your head as you lift your hips off your heels, knuckles pull away from the spine. If that's no good for your neck, then don't lift the hips, just stay in child's pose. Slowly inhale, bring yourself all the way back up. Sitting back on the heels again, release your hands and set them a couple inches behind you. You stay right where you're at. I'm just gonna turn to the side so you can see the pose. Hands right behind. Half camel is just a little lift of the hips up and then a big stretch across your chest. Drop the head back, breathe, breathe, breathe. 2 and 1. Slowly release. Inhale as you sit back up. Exhale out, land on your hands and knees. Right there, we'll do the whole thing a few times through. It's gonna feel good. Drop your belly, inhale, cow stretch. Right. Exhale, round your back. Just pay attention to your breathing. From cat, now you don't have to walk your hands. You can just kind of push the mat away and stand up, use your core, hands around behind you. Baddhahasta, Ustrasana, hands bound. Lift the heart, think about bending up and back over a giant wagon wheel or a beach ball. And then release, sit down, hands stay bound. Inhale here. Another opportunity to lift the chest a little bit, arch the back, put your belly on your thighs, tug the chin at the last moment, roll to the crown of the head, rabbit pose with the hands bound. Inhale slowly. All the way back up. Use your core. Uddiyana Bandha, Mula Bandha. Pull in, behind, and below the navel. Exhale, set your hands just a few inches behind you. Inhale, lift. Head drops back. Ardha Ustrasana. Exhale. Lower back to a seat. Rock forward. Take a deep breath in. Land on the hands and knees. Good. Let's do it one more time, and we're going to add on and start to make it a full salute. Inhale, gaze goes up, cow. Exhale, round, all the way to cat. Push the mat away and inhale up, hands behind. Pull back. Exhale as you push your hips forward. Stay for a deep breath in. Drop down to a seat. Don't change your hands. Inhale again, knuckles pull away from the spine, navel pulls in toward the spine. Exhale down, lift your hips, roll toward the crown of your head, or stay in child's. Take it back up, inhale right there, low belly muscles, use them to lift you up, inhale, good. Hands behind you, exhale, push the hips up. You're gonna stay on the breath in. Exhale, lower on the breath out. Listen close. Instead of tabletop, take it to child's pose, one full breath. Belly on the thighs. Gaze forward. From your child's pose, slide and slither like a little snake all the way out. Because the next pose is Cobra, right? Just like a snake. Think about a cobra. Just the top of the body lifting up. All of your cobra tail is still on the mat, so everything from your hip bones on down is still connected. Go ahead and then release. Listen close. Hands slide back. Second time here, we're gonna push either to hands and knees or all the way up to a plank. Your choice. What are you in the mood for today? Take a deep breath in, push up, and all the way back to downward facing dog. First down dog of the practice, walk it out a little bit. Move through a couple different shapes with your lower body. Give your heels a swivel, hips get a little twist. Shake out the head. And check in with your shoulders as you push your chest closer towards your thighs and really open up, broad across the heart center, front and back of the body. All right, as promised, we're gonna make this a full salute. So look forward, slowly step, hop, or walk toward the top of your mat. Inhale when you get there, and exhale, relax and fold. 2 more times. Half lift, breathe in, get really broad. So think about feeling this like a heart opener. Lift your heart up, just like up dog. Exhale, release. Good, 1 more time. Inhale, lift. Doesn't matter if your legs are straight or not. Exhale, fold. You got it. Reverse and rise. Let's come all the way up to stand. Stay right there. Arms are reaching up and over. I'm gonna move you back just a little bit here. There we go. Wonderful. Big breath in. Take it side to side. Stretch. Just back and forth a couple of times. I've interlaced my fingers. You can make a steeple grip or you can hold a wrist here. Keep going. Do just 2 or 3 more, just like that. I'm gonna get this sorted out eventually. There. 1 more time through the middle. It's one of those days. Takes a few times to get things right today. Exhale, fold all the way down. Half lift here, breathe in. Full salutation now, step, walk, or hop. Back to a high plank. Pause at the top of that push-up. Let's just remind ourselves what good form looks like in chaturanga. So elbows are gonna stay tight to the ribs. If you wanna put your knees down, no problem. But in either variation, whether you're in plank or knees are down, elbows stay pinned to the ribs and you just lower until you feel those elbows tap the sides of your body. Then on the inhale, just lift through. Push to straight arms. So it's not scooping, it's not sweeping, it's just lower straight down like a push-up, push straight up to your back bend, up dog or cobra, take it to downward facing dog. Try it with me 1 more time. Inhale, gaze out, top of a push-up. Maintain this position. Just bend at the elbows. Halfway or all the way. Good. Straight up. And then back. Nice job. Downward facing dog. Drop to your knees from down dog. Let's put it all together a couple times. Tilt your tail, lift your chin. Inhale, gaze up. Exhale, round. Through cat pose. At the bottom of your breath, push the mat away. Come to stand on your knees, bind your hands. Badahasta, Uttanasana. Lift the heart, hands bound. Camel stretch. Take it back. If you're warming up, go a little deeper. Exhale, release to a seat. Hands stay back. Inhale, pull the shoulders back even further as you lift up. Exhale, belly on the thighs, chin to the chest, crown of the head to the mat, and stretch. Shasana, rabbit pose. Inhale, take it back up, use your core. Hands land just behind you. Exhale, lift your hips, tilt your head back. And release. As your hips hit your heels, come forward through child's pose, hands out in front. Deep breath in. Full cycle through the exhale. And you're going to use the bottom of that exhale to start pushing you forward. Out to your belly, inhale, Cobra. Keep it low. Remember, it's different than up dog. Everything's still on the mat. Good, exhale, release. Now slide your hands back a little bit. See how my elbows pop up like grasshopper legs? There, that's where you push. High plank or tabletop. Back to downward facing dog. Full breath in. Deep breath out. One more time through, here we come. Step, hop, or walk to the top. Exhale, release. Fold again. Inhale, lengthen, Ardha, Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Really relax the back of your neck at the bottom of that fold. Look in, not down. Good, one more time. Inhale, gaze out. Exhale, gaze in. Forehead toward the shins. Reverse and rise. We come all the way up to the top. Good, there we go. Shifting side to side a few times here. Rock it back and forth. And squeezing my inner thighs to make sure that I'm still strong in the center of the body. That's the stira of the pose, right? Sturdiness. And then the top part of the pose can really move like a blade of grass because it's rooted into the ground, just like a blade of grass can blow wild in the wind because it's rooted, it's not going anywhere. So feel that connection. And then inhale up through a standing baby back bend if you'd like. Exhale one last time through this full salute. Everything together, half lift and lengthen. Step, walk, or hop it back. From the top of a push-up, remember, exhale, elbows tight. Good. Up dog, Cobra, just lift. Straight through. Exhale back. Downward facing dog. Big breath in. Lower to the knees on the exhalation. Drop the belly, inhale, arch the back, cow stretch. Really lift your heart. Yeah, think about it like pulling your heart center up, then exhale round. Chin deep into the chest, stretch the back of your neck. Look up and in for your navel. Push the ground away, come to stand on the knees. Hands locked behind. Once again, pull the shoulder blades together, knuckles up and off the spine as you stretch back. And then release down to a seat. Take a deep breath in, readjust the arms. Relock the fingers together good and tight, and then down you go. Belly on the thighs, chin tucks in to the crown of the head. Hold this one for 5, 4, keep stretching. 3, don't turn your gaze from side to side. Head stays stable here. Not a ton of pressure there in the crown of the head, just enough. 2, and 1. Rock your hips back to your heels. Use your bandhas to rise up. Ideally, your hips stay connected to your heels that whole time. Hands behind you. Ardha Uttanasana. Lift your heart center up, up, up. Exhale. Drop the hips. Come forward to child's pose. Slow it down right there. You pause. Take a deep breath in. Exhale completely. Inhale, look forward, slide. All the way into your Cobra. Exhale, release. While we're here, hands slide back. Inhale again. Let's do a couple more. This time, just pushing up. See if you can make it to straight arms. Still keeping your hips connected to the mat. So King Cobra, Raja Bhujangasana. It's a fun one to say. Raja is the word that means king or royal. Bhujangasana. is the word we used to mean cobra, but bhuja means shoulder. So bhujang in this posture is really referring to pulling the shoulders back and together, right? It's just the shape of the pose that reminds people of a cobra. So cobra is kind of the nickname of the posture, but it really is asking you to pull the shoulders back and open is what the posture literally calls for. And then exhale all the way down. Go ahead, stay with me right here. We're gonna get moving again in just a second, but while we're on the belly, take your right arm out and open. Hey Jen, didn't see you sneak on there. Sometimes I can't see the screen very well with the glare, so hey everybody that's popped on in the last few minutes. Right arm out and open. Bend your left knee. So that's opposite combo, right arm, left knee. Pick it up and roll. Until you feel the whole right side of your chest open up, the shoulder pulls back. Take your gaze completely to the side and then just let your right ear drop. Get creative with what you want to do with your left hand. I like to reach mine forward and really make the left side body as long as possible. The further back you inch those left toes, the bigger sensation you're going to feel in your low back and your low belly. Deeper lumbar spine twist there. If you're in the mood, you can take the left hand off the mat. Maybe you can reach back and find your left foot and then kick. Just gently. Don't go overboard, just a little kick will do so that you open up the left side hip flexors all the way down that patellar tendon. Left quads, of course. Make sure you don't overload your right shoulder in doing so. And then release. We'll roll everything through center and over to the other side. So it's fun to create a flowing practice that's all about shoulder openers, right? Because there's lots of different ways to get at the shoulders. If we had more time and we were all in the studio, I'd have you get on the wall at one point. But someday soon we'll be able to do that again. You've probably done this against a wall before and just not realized that we're doing the same exact thing right now. Left arm out about 90 degrees, or you can pop it up a little bit more toward the diagonal. Right knee bends, kick that foot behind you. Right arm tucks around behind, or up and over. Find a place that feels good to you. Breathe. Last two. And one. Okay, slowly, carefully. Hopefully you did all the same variations on this side. If you need a little bit more time, if you still need to reach back, find your foot and kick, or do what feels right to you, take an extra moment or two. You catch up with us eventually. We're gonna roll it back to the belly. Bring everything in. Get yourself shaking loose. Let it out. Send a little vibration all the way down from the crown of your head to your feet. Shake the whole back side of your body and then press it up. Child's pose one more time. This one will feel really good. Oh. Inhale, bring it up. Let's meet in down dog. We're gonna sneak in one last little flow here before we call it a day. Hips up high. Give your chest, your heart center a good solid push towards your thighs. Inhale, move your gaze forward. Exhale, step, walk, or hop. Back to the top of the mat and half lift. All to Uttanasana. Remember, that should feel a little like up dog. Yeah. So lots of purpose to this half lift. It's not just arbitrary thing that we do every time we do a sun salutation. It's to remind you to engage. Remind you to engage your bandhas, to engage the backside of your body, to feel the length from the crown of your head to your tailbone, and to maintain that length as you go back into the forward fold. That's the reminder, right? Is that you should always be lengthening out of the stretch. Good, right up to the top on this one. Let's reverse and rise. We'll bring it up one more time. Step back a tad. And then palms can press overhead and just bring them into heart center. Pause here. All right, let's take one more flow. I'm gonna sneak a little balance work in here for you as well. That was another request I had, so not a ton, just a little bit. Feel yourself shift all of your weight over onto your left foot here, and then let's make tree, Vrikshasana. We did a tree pose on our belly to start class, so now here's the full shebang up in the balance posture. Above or below the inside of your left knee, please. And then hands around behind. We're gonna find Baddha Hasta one more time, locking those hands together, rocking your heart center open. If you need a moment or two to find your balance, it's cool, don't worry about it. Take as much time as you need. If you fall out, it's all right, nobody cares. Just come back in when you feel good. You need to stand on 2 feet and breathe. That's always okay as well. Sometimes you just need more roots, right? Breathe, 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 breathe. Right here, pull the navel in tight, bandhas engaged. Smooth, steady, Ujjayi Pranayama. Still stretching the shoulders. 3, 2, we're gonna keep the hands in this bound position. On 1, can you start to slowly peel your right foot off? Okay. Use some of your inner thigh strength to do that. And then move your knee around to the front. Flex your right foot and lift your knee high. That's all low belly work right there. Breathe. 2, 1. We're gonna drive back and see if we can find warrior 3. Now, if you need to release your hands to a different position, that's okay. No problem. Remember, I said a little bit of balance work, not a lot, so we're only here for 3. We're still breathing. Everybody's with me for 2. You can start to let your fingers slide apart. On 1, hands are gonna come down, and then just gently take it into a standing split. Let your head hang heavy below your heart. Breathe right there. Scoot up just a little bit. There we go. Relax the face. No need for tension in your jaw. 2. And 1. Take a look forward on your inhale, lift a little bit. Start to bend your left knee, step all the way back with me and find Anjaneyasana. Big lunge. You need to drop that down on the back knee, not a problem. Stay where you're comfortable so that you can breathe. That's the #1 goal. When the breathing is smooth and steady, then maybe it's time for a little bit more challenge. But until then, just work on the breath. Arms sweep back, shoulder blades pull together. 2, 1, circle them back up again. Inhale overhead. Left elbow bends. You're gonna grab that elbow with your right hand and add just a little bit of a stretch to the side. Notice how that might throw the balance off a tad, so you're gonna have to squeeze all those muscles behind and below the navel. Turn those bandhas on. And 1, arms open back up overhead. Lift your gaze, make a little bit of a back bend there. Hands come down to the mat. Left leg ends up high behind you. 3-legged down dog, stretch it out. Stay right there, deep breath in. Bend the knee, open the hip. If this is plenty for you, you just stay here and breathe. Let that hip hang open. Otherwise, one of the best heart opener stretches of all time is flip dog, if it's done correctly, right? So if you're gonna flip your dog, start looking underneath your left arm. When you feel your weight, shift to the right, let your left foot fall. When you get about halfway around, readjust your hip bones. Steer both hips to the ceiling. Then work on steering the heart and everything else. And lift, right? So it's not just flipping over into a reverse tabletop. It should feel like a heart opener. Up, up, up. Good. Let your hips drop a little bit before you release. Not so much tension on that right shoulder then. Spin it all the way back around. Left leg up nice and high, and let's swing that left foot through for half pigeon. Right edge of the mat, lower the shin down. You're probably gonna be somewhere between 45 degrees and 90-degree angle with the front edge of your mat. And there we go. As you make that shape, you're probably gonna have to just feel out exactly how much or how little you need today. Don't rush into just right down here, because sometimes we miss a whole world on the way down. Right frontal hip bone, take your hand, touch it. Can you feel where that is? It's that little bony notch right there. That bone is like a magnet to this left inner ankle bone. And so as you come forward, keep drawing those two closer and closer together, and that'll keep you right up on top of the pose. And then you can just relax. You want to stay on your elbows, stay on your elbows. If you want to stretch further out into a big, relaxed pigeon, feel free. Or I'll give you the option to sneak that right arm through, a little bit more upper body stretching here. Left hand reaching forward will help you open up the space between your shoulder blades. Just a couple more quiet breaths here. Give your mind a little time to slow down. Listen for the sound of waves or wind. That's the sound of Ujjayi Prani. Smooth, steady breathing. I wish we could stay forever, but we gotta get the other side done before we run out of time. So come on up. Nice and easy. Plant your hands first, and then just take it right back to down dog. Notice the difference in the sides of your body there. Okay, gaze forward, step walk, or hop back to the top and lengthen. Remember, pull from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Lift the navel up and slightly in. Exhale, then fold and stretch. You're gonna take it all the way up to the top with me. Here we go. And palms come together overhead, hands to heart center. Okay, Vrikshasana. Again, tree. Let me make a little wardrobe adjustment here. There we go. Left knee opens up to the side. I'll remind you, Once more, above or below the knee, please. Whew. Those 5 toes of your right foot are the roots of this tree. So spread them out and root them down. And then pull that strength all the way up through the trunk of the tree, which is your right leg. Left knee is the branch, so let it open out like a branch. Hands around behind. Now, if you have not yet, once in this practice, tried lacing your fingers the other way, do it now. Readjust, put your other thumb on top, slide every finger over one knuckle, and just notice what a huge difference it makes when you pull your knuckles off your spine. It's going to feel completely different from the way that you normally do it, right? This is an example of something that yogis would call samskara. Samskaras are little ruts that we get in, little routines, things that we unconsciously always do one way because we've just never thought about doing them the other way. Pretty powerful thought, especially with everything that's going on around us right now, right? That, you know, what are your samskaras? I've been thinking about mine a lot, things that just I've never thought to think about from a different angle, think about from a different way, right? So when we can break up some physical samskaras in the body, it encourages us to break the same samskaras in the mind, to get out of the ruts of the mind. Releasing those ruts of your mind is really one of the best definitions of yoga anyway. So you're doing the yoga. Let's release as you let your hands slide apart a little bit. You're going to pull that left knee out in front. Now if you want to rebind the hands here and keep them there, you can, or you can change that hand position to anywhere else. Lift your knee up higher, flex your foot. Driving through your left heel, take it back to Warrior 3 with any arm variation you'd like. I'm going to stick with the hands bound because it just feels good to keep opening my heart today. You do what you do for 3, 2, and 1. All right, wherever you're at, release. Hands down, take a moment. Firmly reconnect to the earth in your standing split. Remember, you don't have to kick up very high here. This is more about squaring the hips, just like we do in the splits. Resist the urge to really turn that left side open. Breathe. 2, 1. Gaze out. Inhale, lift to your fingertips. Big step back when you're ready. Take it up. Find your lunge. Scoot forward a tad. Anjaneyasana, here we are. Heart center comes up. Exhale, hands sweep back. Lean out, pull the shoulder blades together. Low belly's in, nice and tight. Really good slow flowing today. Bring it up one more time. Right elbow bends. Grab from the left, add that little side body stretch. And now everything's tucked in tight below, behind the navel. 3, 2, and 1, release. Sweep the hands down, plant them again. This time right foot goes up high. There's your 3-legged dog. Now you can open the hip up as much as you want. Hang there with the open hip, move it around in some circles, or if you want to flip, start the first part. Once your right foot hits the ground, readjust. Turn both hip bones up and push from there so that you really get the heart opened up here as well. 5, keep breathing, reaching out. 4, good. This pose takes a lot of courage, so if you're in it, keep the breath coming. 2 and 1. Drop your hips first. Feel the pressure go out of your left shoulder. Then you can safely turn it back around. Right leg extends high for just a moment, enough to get you through to half pigeon. Right knee swings up toward the base of your right thumb. Shin comes across the mat. Now remember all that stuff we did on the first side. Stacking up, collarbones, over the hip bones. Rotating left frontal hip bone forward a little bit towards your inner ankle bone. When all of that feels good, then add the forward fold. And stay on your elbows. You can stretch out long. Or if you'd like, Ekapada Parivrita. That's one foot twisted. Raja. Remember we learned that word earlier. Do you remember what it meant? Raja, royal or king. Uttanasana, pigeon pose, right? So that's a mouthful, but twisted half pigeon is the nickname. And as a reminder, I'm just giving you options. Nothing is mandatory except the breath. So do what feels good in your body. Take a few quiet breaths here to just relax the mind. Slow the breathing. Hang on to your pigeon for another few breaths. So of the 3 requests for shoulder opening, chest expansion, upper body, neck and shoulders work, a little bit of balancing, and then just some slow flowing. I feel like we pretty much got it all in there. You're welcome to hang out on this side of pigeon a little bit longer if you need to, if you're feeling good and ready to move into a couple quick finishers with me. You take it up, you want one more down dog, go for it, or you can just put all your weight in your right hip and swing yourself around. Downward facing dogs, give it a good stretch back there, and then come on through step hop or jump in to a good seated forward fold and meet up with us when you're ready. I'm gonna let you pick what you wanna do. Paschimottanasana, legs out. Maybe you want to do Baddha Konasana, Upavishta Konasana. Just a few moments in a forward fold, sending some signals to your body that we're going to start slowing it down, cooling down. And then when you're happy and satisfied, the one place we have not been yet is on our back. So let's roll on down. You guys go ahead. If you want some core strengthening, you can roll it down nice and slow, one vertebra at a time. Hollow out your low back, hollow out your belly. When you do make it all the way down, bring your right knee in for a quick squeeze. Close your eyes and pretend that you could leave a fossil of your back on the mat right now. So push your spine down. And then release a little bit of that tension. And make a spinal twist here. Right knee comes across the body, really just for a breath or two. We started with that big spinal twist from our belly, which is essentially the exact same shape here, but notice how different they feel depending on where you enter the pose, right? Two completely different sensations. Good, release. Right leg escapes as you capture the left knee. Bring that baby up and in for a minute. And take your knee gently across. Once again, rotate from the hips. Slowly unwind. Go ahead, bring both knees in, one last little squeeze. From this point on, you get to pick your own ending to the story today. If you need a happy baby, I would highly recommend any last heart openers. Maybe a little fish pose would feel good. Back bending sequence, whatever it might be. If you do have some props of your own, or even just a little blanket nearby, something behind you for resting in Shavasana, and encouraging just a little bit more heart opening. So from here on out, work your way through whatever you need to do. Take as much time as you need to get comfortable, and then you'll rest in your Shavasana for as long as you would like. Yesterday, I ran out of time at the end and I got cut off on our chant, so I want to make sure I get it in here for you because I promised I would do this one every day for a couple of weeks. So once again, the Mangala mantra, the mantra that asks for peace, happiness, health, and of course, may all beings everywhere be happy and free. Oh, I'm gonna get cut off again. Never mind, I'll do it for you guys tomorrow, I promise. I've only got a few seconds left. You can look it up, it's on my YouTube channel, and practice, and then we'll do it together tomorrow. I miss you, I love you, have a great day.